systems analysis, and design. Use one of the two types of prototyping, throwaway and evolutionary prototyping, during system development. For this presentation, I'll be focusing on throwaway prototyping. Throwaway prototyping is a method of development that employs technical mechanisms for reducing risk in a project. Throwaway prototyping is a part of the development of a prototype. When the prototype developers are concerned with a respective aspect of the prototype, they make throwaway prototypes to test it and get feedback from it. The end users take the prototype, evaluate it, and provide feedback for the continuation and addition within the developmental cycle. The throwaway prototype model is just there to validate the system's functionalities and requirements. Once they are understood and worked upon, throwaway prototypes are thrown away because they won't add any more advantage to the prototype. Reducing the risk of the product is the key goal when it comes to prototyping. You can't add them within the product because they only check one aspect of it. The whole product will have tens or even hundreds of throwaway prototypes constructed alongside the project to check if it doesn't backfire. There are 5 phases involved in the throwaway prototyping model. Number 1. Identification of requirements and materials to be used. Although most requirements are unknown, because the process works through a discovery method, the basics should be identified so that the project can begin. Number 2. Planning. The ability of the project management team to plan well is necessary for a throwaway prototyping model to work. The team is a huge factor for its success. With this model, you can expect numerous surprises coming your way, so having the skills necessary to resolve problems is a must. Number 3. Implementation, prototyping, and verification. Once planning has been completed, implementation of the project will then take place. Prototypes will be created and introduced to end users who will utilize them for testing and evaluation purposes. At this time, they will be providing feedback, clarifying needs, and relay requirements. Number 4. Prototype enhancements and revisions. As per requirements of end users derived through feedback and testing, the prototypes will be continuously altered until such time it has reached near perfection. Number 5. Finalization. Once everything has been set and issues have been properly addressed, the prototype will then be thrown away, and the product or service will be developed, taking into consideration the feedback derived during the verification process. Describe the advantages and limitations of each type of prototyping. Types of prototyping. Rapid prototyping or throwaway prototyping is the fast creation of a physical prototype using things such as a 3D printer. Rapid prototypes are meant to be continuously changed and are modified in both function and design several times before the prototype is declared completed. Advantages of rapid prototyping include shorter development times for products, lower development costs, and functionality testing costs are reduced. Disadvantages include limited materials, skilled labor being essential, and key features may be missed. Evolutionary prototyping. This prototyping is one that starts off with only the system requirements and has its functions and design developed and changed when the creator of the product has a better understanding of the requirements. Advantages of evolutionary prototyping are reduced operating time, better risk analysis, and supports a changing environment with customers' feedback on the different stages of the model. Disadvantages of this is that it can be expensive to develop with several stages of development and design. Management complexity is higher, and highly skilled resources are needed. Incremental prototyping. In incremental prototyping, several small prototypes are developed and created. After the prototype is evaluated and refined, the prototypes are then merged together into one. Advantages are testing and debugging are easier cost less than other models, and customers are able to give feedback with each prototype that is built. Disadvantages of this are that this type of prototyping needs careful planning and design so that any individual prototype does not hinder the end result's functionality. It's costly to create, and if there's a problem with one of the prototypes, all prototypes will have a problem that needs fixing. Extreme prototyping. Extreme prototyping is a form of software development, has three stages. The first stage is building the HTML wireframes. The second is transforming those wireframes to functional HTML pages. The third and last stage is the coding and implementation of the services layer. Advantages are software is created faster using extreme prototyping, errors can be avoided with pure programming, and changes can be made with short notice. Disadvantages of extreme prototyping are high cost to create the product. Extreme prototyping mainly focuses on the code that is written and neglects the design aspect, and needs a large time investment to complete. Use the rapid application development process to create a product. Step 1. Define and finalize project requirements. During this step, stakeholders sit together to define and finalize project requirements, such as project goals, expectations, timelines, and budget. When you have clearly defined and scoped out each aspect of the project's requirements, you can seek management approvals. Step 2. Begin building prototypes. As soon as you finish scoping the project, you can begin development. Designers and developers still work closely with clients to create and improve upon working prototypes until the final product is ready. Step 3. Gather user feedback. In this step, prototypes and beta systems are converted into working models. Developers then gather user feedback to tweak and improve prototypes and create the best possible product. Step 4. Testing. This step requires you to test your software product and ensure that all of its moving parts work together correctly and as the client expects. Continue incorporating client feedback while the code is tested and retested to ensure a smooth, functioning final product. Step 5. Present your system. This is the final step before the finished product goes to launch. It involves data conversion, user training, and possibly more testing. We've come to the end of this presentation, and thank you all for watching.